Welcome to Origins. Where did we people come from? Where did every living creature come from? Let's begin. Let's start with a high-level view of what we will be discussing. We will discuss two views of origins. View 1. We will discuss the creation view, that God created everything. And view 2. We will discuss the evolution view, that nature created everything. View 1. The creation view. God created life. We people are not an accident. God used intelligent design to create the universe and everything in it, including people. View 2. The evolution view. Nature created life from lifeless things. We are all accidents. There is no designer. There is no design. No goal or target. Everything just happened. It's a natural process that should not stop. Evidence of origins. Can we prove creation or evolution? Let's look at origins as an event. Origins is a historical event. It happened back in time. We have no eyewitnesses alive who can tell us what happened. Is there any physical evidence of what happened between origins and now? Something we can touch and see. Is there any physical evidence of what happened in the past? Yes, we will look at fossils as that physical evidence. What's a fossil? Any hardened remains or imprints of plant or animal life of some past time buried in the earth. There are billions of them on land and in the seabeds. A fossil example. How would you like this as a pet turtle? What should the evidence show for each view? What is predicted by the creation view? What is predicted by the evolution view? Let's look at what is predicted by each. From the life creation view, we should see the sudden appearance of different kinds of both plants and animals. They should be complete at the start, able to survive and reproduce its kind. We should see no change over time to another kind. They stay the same kind. And we should see no evidence that a kind descended from another kind. They are not related. From the evolution view, we should see the appearance of simple living things from lifeless things. We should see simple kinds changed into more complex kinds. We should see big changes take place over time, moving from kind to kind. They should all show they are related to common ancestors. We should see continual change over time without stopping, since this is a natural process. Now that you have been exposed to the main points of this presentation, let's dig deeper into the details. Again, we will present two views of origins. The creation view, God created. The evolution view, nature created. We will cover the creation view first. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." God created the universe and everything in it. After the earth was created, God created life. Let's look at the life creation view. The creation view shows God created life. Genesis 1:11 says, "Then God said, 'Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth, and it was so. Genesis 1:20 says, Then God said, Let the waters abound with the abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth, across the face of the expanse of the heavens. Genesis 1:24 says, Then God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth, each according to its kind, and it was so. We see new and different plants and animals, on land, in the sea, and in the air. We people are not an accident. Then God said, Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Genesis 2:7 says, And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. God used intelligent design to create life on this earth through his omniscient intellect. Question: What does omniscient mean? Omniscient means all-knowing, having infinite knowledge, knowing all things. God used his omniscient, all-knowing intellect to design and create the life on this earth. Genesis 1:31 says, Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So again, God created life. We people are not an accident. God used intelligent design to create life, including people. We will now cover the nature view of how life began. The nature view claims the universe and the earth were created by a Big Bang event. And after the earth was created, then life arose by an accident of nature. Life arises from lifeless things. When I say lifeless things, I mean they have never been alive. In chemistry, they are called inorganic chemicals. They are not animal-based. They are not plant-based. They are just naturally occurring lifeless chemicals with no life creation ability within themselves. The original creation of life is not the main subject of this comparison. After life is created, the evolutionary forces are of interest for this comparison. We will now cover the life evolution view. In evolution, we should see simple life change to more complex life. We people are all unplanned accidents, since there is no planner. There is no designer. There is no design, no goal or target. Everything just happened randomly over a long period of time, and evolution should not stop. It's a natural process. In evolution, like gives rise to different through mutations, which cause slow change over a long time, millions of years. In evolution, there should be few good mutations, but many bad mutations. And why? Because there is no design, no designer, no plan, and no destination. All this should lead to many extinctions, because survival reality requires non-interference with vital life functions. If evolutionary change interferes with the ability to drink, eat, eliminate, the creature will die. If evolutionary change interferes with the ability to defend against the weather or the many predators, the creature will die. And of course, the ultimate interference would be to keep a creature from reproducing, which would lead to extinction. Life Evolution View Summary. We should see simple life change to more complex life. We are all accidents, since there is no plan or goal. Evolution is mutation dependent for change. Most mutations would lead to extinction because the change would interfere with the ability to survive and reproduce. Everything just happened randomly, since there is no design or designer. And evolution should not stop. It's a natural process. Now, let's look at the real evidence of origins. What is the physical evidence of what happened back in time? We call them fossils. What should the fossil evidence show? What is predicted by the creation view? What is predicted by the evolution view? What will we see in the evidence, the fossil record? We will now look at each view. Let's examine the creation fossil evidence view first. What should we see in the fossil record to support creation? The creation view says we should see the sudden appearance of different kinds of both plants and animals. We should see the sudden appearance of new and different creatures and plants on land, in the sea, and in the air. We should see that they are complete at the start, able to survive and reproduce from the beginning. We should see like gives rise to like. Pigs give rise to pigs and continue to give rise to pigs. There should be no change over time to another kind. They stay the same kind. We should see no evidence that a kind descended from another kind. They are not related by descent. We may see common design elements, like eyes, because they are related by one designer. Let's now examine the evolution fossil evidence view. What should we see in the fossil record to support evolution? We should see the appearance of simple life, arising from lifeless things, then see simple kinds changed into more complex kinds. We should see both plants and animals evolve from simple kinds to more complex kinds. We should see big changes over time as one kind evolves to another kind. One must ask, how many generations of plants and animals do you think would have lived and died during the claimed 1.1 billion years that it took to get us to life on this planet today? No doubt trillions and trillions, over 6,100 millions of years. Expected intermediate kinds. Since everything had to have evolved from a simpler kind, the predicted intermediate, or in-between kinds, should be vastly numerous. Since evolution has no design or designer, we would expect to find fossils of many more changes leading to extinction than fossils of good change, leading to survival and more change. The intermediate kinds should have a predominant presence in the fossil record. We should see continual change over time in both plants and animals, since it is a natural process. Evolution should not stop, because it is just part of nature. Now let us look at the actual fossil evidence. What does the actual fossil evidence show? We see the sudden appearance of new and different creatures and plants on land, in the sea, and in the air. We see them complete at the start, able to survive and reproduce from the beginning. We see like gives rise to like. Its descendants are of the same kind. We see no change over time to another different kind. They stay the same kind. We see trilobite fossils. They are complete at first appearance in the fossil record, ready to survive and reproduce. We see nothing evolving to or away from trilobites. We see no change during their existence. Then they go extinct. There is no evolution here. We see no evidence that a kind descended from another kind. They are not related. The intermediate kinds are still not there. It has been over 160 years since evolution was proposed, and they have never found any clearly, undisputed intermediate kinds. The evolutionists have looked hard for intermediate kinds on land and the bottom of the sea. There should be billions or trillions of them, but they are not there. Could it be the reason they cannot find the intermediate kinds is that they have never been there? Even the evolutionists admit that apparently evolution has stopped. There is no evidence of anything evolving in the world today. You would have to ask, why would a natural process stop? In addition, if evolution stopped, don't you think that some poor intermediate kind would get stuck in limbo? It can't evolve back, and it can't evolve forward. We would have a living intermediate kind to admire and pity. The physical evidence supports the creation view. The evidence shows intelligent design was behind the vast diversity and complexity of living things. Be honest and weigh the evidence. We did not cover the process that nature is supposed to have followed to create initial simple living things by accident. Even these initial simple living things would still be required to be capable of surviving long enough to reproduce in a hostile natural environment. Evolution is about change in living things, where the initial creation is supposed to be an accident of nature, having nothing to do with evolution. The initial creation of living things by an accident of nature would have to come from lifeless things, being combined to create living things. Modern studies of the workings of the biological cell expose a hugely complex world that nature could not have created, even by accident. We will reserve the discussion of the initial creation of life by nature's accident for another video. One view is true, the creation view. The evidence shows God created everything, including complex life, using intelligent design. Thanks for watching this video.